This is the Jetset 5 inflatable air tent from Zempire. It is a really affordable air tent that sets up with one of these. I'm going to show you how to do it. Let's get started.
Hit it.
Hey folks, Ben from Summers here today at the Brownhill Creek Tourist Park in Adelaide's eastern suburbs. This is a nice little bush setting, place for you to set up your tent or your caravan if you're just checking out the area for the weekend, or even if you stay a little bit longer. I've got some Zempire products here for you today. Set up in front of me, or packed up, sorry, in front of me here is the Jetset 5 inflatable air tent. This is an affordable air tent in the Jetset air tent series range. It's going to be a great option for compact family camping. Packed up like this, it weighs about 14, or just over 14 kilos, measures about 70 centimeters in length and about 35 centimeters in diameter. I'm going to show you how to set it up and how to pack it away today, because it is a super easy tent to do as such. It's got one inflatable port, everything's set up just with a pump. You don't need to assemble poles and things. I'm going to start by showing you what comes in the bag though. So inside the bag, which is a neat compression type bag, it's got an expansion gusset in it to make it easier to get the tent back inside. You get the tent, which is secured with a few straps here. You get a bag of pegs. These are all the poles you get with it. Now, these don't form the main structure of the tent. You get some awning poles here, so you can set the front door up as an awning. These are brow poles, just to give a bit of stability around the side. The rest of the frame is all an air pole, which we'll show you shortly. You get this pump. Now this is what you need to set the tent up. You get a number of components with it. The pump, you get a pressure gauge, a pressure release gauge, and the hose. I'll show you how to set that up shortly. And this is actually all bundled together, the main or the inner tent and the frame. It's actually all joined together there at the moment. You can set them up independently, but at the moment that's all together. So the first thing we're going to do is set up the pump. Now to do that, we grab our pressure release valve, which is this bit here, and we lock that in place on the inflate side. You'll see there's got inflate and deflate, so I'm going to put it on the inflate side here. We then lock the hose in place. Now the hose, the portion that's got this little threaded section here, needs to go up against the pump. We lock that in place as well, and then we grab our pressure gauge here and we screw that into the threaded port in the top of the hose there. And that's our pump ready to go. Now this is a double action pump, which means it pumps as you push and as you pull. Zempire do have 12 volt options as an optional accessory for the tents to make it even quicker to set up your pump. And that's all ready to go. Next step is to put all the poles and things aside. We want to spread the tent out and put the 4 corner pegs in place. So that's our 4 pegs in place. Now before we inflate it, we do need to make sure that the door is done up. So we zip this inner door up if it's not already done up. That's going to help the tent hold its shape as we inflate it. Now just for interest's sake, you might be wondering how strong these air poles are. Now this is the air pole here, so there's a bladder contained within this fabric here. Now I'm actually just going to show you what's inside. They come sealed up. There's a cable tie here, so you can replace these bladders if you need, but I'm actually just going to trim it for you. I'm going to show you what's inside and how well protected or how strong these air poles really are. So with inside this outer material here, we unzip this, you can see we've got a clear, it's quite a thick TPU type material in there, so it's not a lightweight bladder at all. And there's no seams around there. It's a continuous tube, so it's a nice strong bladder, and then that's contained within this sort of dual layer fabric out here. There's a tarp type material on the inside here, and then laminated to that on the outside is another nylon or polyester material as well. So the air poles themselves are really well protected inside these sort of protective covers, and these run right over the top of the tent wherever the air poles exist. So now we grab our pump and we can inflate the poles. Now there's 2 inflation ports, but we only need to inflate from one of those. And each of them look like this. So there's 2 sections to the valve. This has been undone completely to let the frame down. To do it up, we screw this first section in place firmly, just making sure we don't cross thread it or catch anything in the thread. We make sure that the other valve on the opposite corner to where I am now has this cap on top, otherwise we're pumping air in here and it's escaping out the other corner. So that one's all sealed up. We then grab our pump, we insert this end into the top of the valve here, and we start pumping. Now this pump's a double action pump, so it's pushing air in as we pull up and as we push down. This pressure release valve will start hissing once it reaches 9 psi, but I can just watch my pressure gauge here. When I get up to around about 9, we should be good to go. You need to stop now and then and just help the frame. We need to kind of help this center bit want to pop upwards. At the moment it's angled downwards, so just need to get your hand in underneath the fly, this center section here, and just give it a hand. Here we go, stand upright, and we're almost done. Now this is getting a little bit firm at the end, just as you're reaching the full pressure. We're almost there. So this is actually now, this valve is now hissing. It actually only shows about 7.5 to 8 PSI on the valve there. But that air is now just coming out this valve here, or this pressure release valve, rather than going into the tent, so we can't overinflate it. So that is the frame all set up. We can take our valve out. Now there's a one-way valve in here, so we can take the pump out without the air escaping again. We put the cap back on, and that's the frame all set up. Now, I have set this up with this fly attached. The beauty of this tent is there's no poles when it's rolled up to damage the fly, so we can roll it all up together without any worries about compromising the waterproof properties of the fly here. You can set it up without the fly at all though. It simply clips on at the bottom here. There are tabs, that one's not done up, but tabs that go around the frame here. There's one here at the top. Goes around the frame, and little tabs on each corner here. And that's all that holds the fly on. So we can, if we like, take this fly off completely and use this without the fly for a nice night sleeping out under the stars. In this instance though, I'm going to leave the fly on. It gives you full weather protection, and you still get good ventilation in this tent with the fly attached, and it makes setup and pack away a whole lot quicker. From here, I'll put this back on. We go around to the corners and put all our pegs in the corners here of the fly. Now I've actually skipped a step here. I've put the 3 guy ropes in on each side here, and I've pegged around the base of the tent. There's one on each corner here, and also one at the rear, and a small guy rope at the rear here just to hold this rear storage section out a bit. The step I forgot was with these fiberglass poles. Now these are the only fiberglass poles in the kit. And these are called the brow poles. Now these sit across the top of the front and the back of the tent here. They go in these little pockets on the side. They feed through this sleeve at the top here and go in another pocket at the side, just to bring this side of the tent out a bit, to give a bit more space in underneath the fly sheet. Now I did just need to loosen the guy ropes and the little strap at the base of the tent where the peg goes to get this in, because it fits quite firmly. But now that that's in place, it sits over this reinforced section of the fly here. It's giving me this extra space out here for the water to run off, and I can tighten all of these points again on the fly. And then I do the same thing around the front of the tent. Now we've got a few setup options with the awning at the front here. I've pegged it straight out like this for starters, which gives us the option for weather protected storage underneath here, and you can access on each side. So this door here that I'll show you now also features on the other side of the awning. It zips open up along the edge here. We can roll this back and secure it with these tabs here. And that gives us a bit of access, not a huge amount of space, but a weather protected awning, or vestibule, sorry, at the front of the tent here, but there's not a lot of room to stand in. The other alternative is that we can use the included awning poles, these guys here, and the guy ropes to set this up as an actual shade awning at the front of the tent here. I'll set that up now and show you how that looks. That is the Jetset 5 tent all set up. Now, it was pretty quick to set up. The longest bit was putting all the pegs in and the awning at the front. Actually pumping the frame up probably took only about a minute, maybe only 2 to 3 minutes tops to actually pump the main frame up. So the longest bit is sticking the pegs in. So if you've got hard ground, that's what's going to take the longest. That's it, all set up. Pack down is pretty much easier than setup. Now I've taken all the pegs out that set up the awning, all the guy rope pegs, and all but 4 corner pegs for the tent so far. So the tent's still secure just in case the wind picks up. A few more things we need to do before we go and deflate the frame. We need to make sure this door is done up. Now, this is mainly for setup next time. If this door is done up when we pump the tent up, next time we set it up, having this done up is going to help the tent take a proper shape, and there's not going to be any extra undue stress on any zips at all. So we'll zip all these up. We now need to take these brow poles out. Just pop them out of the sleeve at the ends here and slide them out from these sleeves at the top. Now comes the coolest bit of letting the tent down. You can go to any one of these ports. There's one here, there's one on the opposite corner over there as well. And we're gonna unscrew this, and when we do it, air's gonna rush out of here really quickly, and it's gonna make a really cool sound, and the tent will collapse down in a matter of seconds. And that's the tent collapsed down. Now I can pull the 4 corner pegs out, fold all the tent into the center, put it back in the bag. Now I've got the bag here for a bit of a judge of how wide I need this. I have opened up the other valve as well on the frame, and I'm rolling the whole tent towards those valves, so I'm squeezing any extra air out of the frame as I go. That went back in the bag very easily, given the bag has this gusset to allow for a bit of a lazy roll, I suppose. If you make it a bit bigger, still goes in there really easily. That is how you set up and pack away the Jetset 5 inflatable air tent from Zempire. I reckon it's a ripper. You can check them out at snowies.com.au, where you'll find them at our lowest prices every day. Free delivery to just about anywhere in Australia. If you like that video, subscribe to our channel. We'll send you all of our latest and greatest information. Got any questions about this tent or anything in our range, let us know down in the comments below, or head here for some other tent videos.